The rolling hills of Tennessee sit atop a vast subterranean network of dissolving limestone that has recently begun to collapse at an accelerating rate across the entire volunteer state. Beneath the peaceful surfaces of busy highways and quiet pastures, enormous underground voids are weakening and shifting until the ground simply gives way without any prior warning to the public. These sudden sinkholes are currently swallowing vital transportation routes and fragments of local history that have remained completely undisturbed for more than 200 years of human development. In the late summer of 2025, the quiet rural landscape of McMinn County was violently disrupted when two massive sinkholes ruptured within a single private cattle pasture. These yawning chasms appeared just 100 feet apart from each other, leaving jagged edges where green fields of grain had existed only a few short hours before. While cattle wandered wearily around the new ruins, residents realized the stable ground they had trusted for 6 generations had split open in the dark of the night. Deep within Cumberland County, a hidden chasm far larger than most people realize sits silently beneath the heavy traffic of thousands of unsuspecting motorists who pass by every day. When rumors of an ancient sinkhole emerging at Red Clay Historic Park surged across social media, the sudden panic proved how fragile our sense of security has truly become. Geological experts are now beginning to warn that these events are not random accidents, but part of a larger pattern tied to shifting forces beneath the surface of Tennessee. This accelerating pattern now threatens critical infrastructure and essential water systems while destabilizing entire communities that have built their homes above these invisible and growing subterranean chambers. We must now ask if the ground beneath our feet is a solid foundation, or merely a thin veil covering a world of chaos that is waiting to emerge. Let us break down the science of this geological threat, because what is happening beneath Tennessee right now could have consequences far beyond what any local resident ever expected. If you want to stay informed about the hidden forces shaping our world and threatening our safety, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications. Tennessee rests on massive subterranean layers of soluble carbonate rocks like limestone and dolomite, which provide a fragile foundation for the millions of people living across the entire state. The geological process of dissolution begins silently as rainwater absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and decaying organic matter to transform into a weak but persistent carbonic acid solution. This slightly acidic water seeps through the topsoil and enters microscopic fissures in the bedrock, where it slowly eats away at the solid stone over hundreds of thousands of years. At first, these changes remain completely invisible to the human eye, as tiny cracks widen into hidden channels that eventually expand into massive chambers, stretching for several miles underground. While the surface appears perfectly stable for modern construction projects and heavy agriculture, the supporting rock below is gradually hollowed out until it reaches a dangerous and unpredictable tipping point. When the structural integrity of the remaining bedrock can no longer support the immense weight of the overlying soil, the ground collapses suddenly into a dark and terrifying void. Roads and forests can vanish in a single heartbeat during these catastrophic events, leaving behind jagged pits that expose the hidden vulnerability of our highly developed and modern landscape. Modern human development has significantly altered how water moves across the surface of Tennessee by replacing natural absorbent forests with miles of impermeable concrete and heavy asphalt road networks. Instead of soaking into the earth, naturally, rainfall is now funneled directly into concentrated points underground through drainage systems that inadvertently speed up the erosion of the fragile limestone bedrock. Aging infrastructure and leaking utility pipes contribute even more pressurized water into the subterranean system, which accelerates the formation of new sinkholes at a rate never seen in previous centuries. A single localized collapse often triggers a dangerous chain reaction that can pollute vital groundwater supplies and destroy the structural foundations of entire residential neighborhoods within a few days. The infamous collapse of the 2 chambers in 2015 served as a massive wake-up call for scientists who discovered a vertical drop of 123 feet deep. Every heavy rainstorm and major construction project now adds significant pressure to a geological system that is already under extreme strain from both natural forces and intensive human activity. Geologists are finding that sinkholes linked specifically to human activity are increasing across the eastern United States, creating a crisis for insurance companies and local government planning agencies alike. We are effectively accelerating a natural process that was once slow and inevitable, making the ground beneath our feet more treacherous than at any other time in recorded geological history. Understanding the chemistry of collapse is the first step towards surviving in a region where the very earth can betray you during the next unexpected and heavy summer rainstorm. The invisible threat of karst topography remains the most significant geological challenge facing Tennessee as we move further into the middle of the 21st century with our expanding cities. If you find this exploration of our changing earth fascinating, please share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to subscribe to join our growing community of curious observers. Experts at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, are currently leading a revolutionary project to deploy artificial intelligence for the precise prediction of future sinkhole locations throughout the entire state. This advanced technological race aims to manage the hidden perils of karst landscapes by processing massive data sets that were previously impossible for human geologists to analyze alone. Powerful algorithms now synthesize decades of historical rainfall records and geological field reports to identify specific patterns of ground movement that occur before a catastrophic collapse actually happens. High-tech sensors are being strategically placed along major Tennessee highways to collect real-time data on soil moisture levels and subtle temperature changes within the deep subterranean limestone voids. Aerial drones, equipped with sophisticated ground-penetrating radar, frequently sweep high-risk areas to detect early signs of earth sagging that remain completely invisible to motorists passing by every day. Satellite imagery provides a regional perspective by measuring tiny shifts in elevation that indicate the slow and steady movement of the Earth over thousands of square miles of territory. By feeding these curated datasets into deep learning models, researchers hope to uncover the subtle links between human infrastructure projects and the acceleration of natural erosion processes. What once took geologists several years to map by hand can now be processed in a few short hours through the immense computational power of modern artificial intelligence systems. These innovative research initiatives currently guide local planning agencies in making safer decisions about zoning and the construction of critical facilities near known subterranean hazard zones throughout Tennessee. Despite these technological leaps, the Tennessee landscape remains incredibly complex because hidden water channels can suddenly reappear or collapse without following any previously established mathematical or geological patterns. Every major storm event provides new data for the AI models, but it also creates immediate new risks as water reshapes the underground world faster than sensors can record. The integration of traditional field expertise with modern data science represents the next frontier in our ongoing battle to coexist with an unpredictable and shifting geological foundation. Current risk maps are becoming more accurate every month as more sensors are deployed across different counties to monitor the most vulnerable sections of the state highway system. This technological shield offers a sense of hope for communities living in fear of the next sudden rupture, though it can never provide a total guarantee of absolute safety. We are entering an era where our survival depends on our ability to read the silent language of the stones through the eyes of our most advanced digital tools. If you want to see how technology is fighting to protect our world from hidden disasters, subscribe to the channel now and stay updated on our latest geological investigations. Every significant sinkhole event in the state of Tennessee triggers a complex cascade of economic and environmental costs that ripple far beyond the initial site of the structural collapse. Direct destruction of private property and public infrastructure often results in repair bills that quickly climb into several millions of dollars for a single small town or a rural county. Beyond the visible craters and broken asphalt lies a hidden crisis involving the sudden contamination of vital groundwater aquifers that thousands of local residents rely on for their daily survival. When a massive sinkhole ruptures an aging sewer line or an industrial waste pipe, it sends hazardous pollutants truck-deep into the pristine underground rivers of the vulnerable karst landscape. This immediate pollution can endanger public health for several months or even many years, while forcing entire communities to seek alternative and expensive sources of clean and safe drinking water. Across the eastern United States and Dockbeat in Tennessee, the rising number of induced sinkholes has created a permanent financial burden for local taxpayers and state transportation planning agencies. Under current Tennessee state law, a legal principle of strict liability applies to any party found to have inadvertently caused or significantly hastened the natural process of ground subsidence. This means that land developers and homeowners, or even local government authorities, face heightened financial obligations when their construction projects interfere with the delicate balance of the subterranean environment. The natural world also suffers immense losses as sudden collapses swallow entire sections of fertile farm fields and disrupt the fragile habitats of local wildlife and various plant species. Valuable agricultural soil disappears in an instant, leaving behind jagged scars on the landscape that can take several decades for nature to heal through slow and natural sedimentation processes. Perhaps the most profound impact is the heavy psychological cost borne by families who live in neighborhoods where every hard rainstorm brings the terrifying possibility of a sudden ground rupture. Parents in vulnerable counties now find themselves studying their front lawns for tiny cracks or sagging earth that might indicate a growing void is lurking just day, their children's playground. Common sights, like a spreading puddle or a new dip in the driveway, are no longer ignored, but are viewed as urgent warning signs of a potential and life-altering catastrophe. This invisible chain of risk links the health of the water supply to property values and the mental well-being of thousands of people living above this highly changeable earth. The more these geological events are seen as being induced by human activity, the more urgent the public conversation becomes regarding how to live safely atop such an unpredictable foundation. If you want to understand the true price of living in a world where the ground beneath you is constantly shifting, then join our community by subscribing to our channel. Cumberland County features a notable depression visible from a major roadside that serves as a permanent and silent warning about the unstable geological activity occurring far beneath the grassy surface. Local residents frequently share stories about sudden changes in vegetation and unusual water movements around this site, which offer subtle but persistent clues that something deep below is still growing. From a high altitude, the full extent of this geographic feature becomes chillingly clear when measured by expert eyes who understand the dangerous relationship between surface shapes and hidden voids. The paired sinkholes in McMinn County remain a fresh and terrifying memory for the local farming community after consuming large sections of productive fields in just one single overnight event. These were not merely shallow potholes but massive excavations large enough to swallow multiple heavy vehicles while leaving fences dangling over the edge of a dark and bottomless pit. Instead of suggesting a random occurrence, the proximity of these holes hints at vast, unseen networks of chambers that have been undermined by several decades of unnoticed and silent erosion. Witnesses recall the utter shock of finding their grain fields vanished, while the eerie hush that followed the discovery highlighted the sheer power of the geological forces at work below. Red Clay Historic Park offers a different lesson regarding the power of digital rumors when an artificial intelligence-generated image of a massive collapse caused widespread panic across several social platforms. Although geologists quickly verified that no actual collapse had occurred at this revered site, the public response exposed a very real and deep-seated fear about the stability of historical landmarks. This cherished public location now receives constant and careful monitoring for any subtle signs of ground movement because the demand for public vigilance has been permanently woven into the local culture. The infamous hellhole collapse of 2015 remains the most significant and detailed event ever logged in the state of Tennessee, providing a terrifying preview of what the future holds. During that specific event, geologists measured a vertical drop of more than 123 feet deep, while confirming the existence of multiple interconnected chambers that extended far into darkness. Data collected from this single site has been used to inform many modern risk models that now help scientists anticipate future crises before they can destroy more homes and infrastructure. Each of these specific locations underscores the central fact that the Tennessee landscape is a living and changeable force that presents real and ongoing risks to every resident and traveler. Guarding against a danger that only reveals itself in fleeting and catastrophic moments requires a level of constant alertness that most modern people are traditionally accustomed to maintaining daily, whether marked by towering walls of stone or quiet slumping meadows. These sites refuse to stay silent as they continue to reshape the map of the state in their own time. If you want to continue exploring these mysterious and dangerous locations with us, make sure to like this video and subscribe to stay updated on all of our latest findings. Modern geological research in Tennessee is currently facing its greatest challenge as the state attempts to balance rapid urban expansion with the increasingly unstable nature of the underlying karst topography. Insurance companies and local government agencies are now redrawing hazard maps that will directly impact the property values of more than 500,000 homeowners living in high-risk zones. Those who fail to account for the hidden voids beneath their construction projects now face the severe legal consequences of strict liability laws that were recently strengthened by the legislature. This new era of geological awareness has transformed the way children are taught in local schools as they learn to recognize the subtle warning signs of an impending ground collapse. Despite the vast improvements in artificial intelligence modeling, the land continues to keep many of its ancient secrets while waiting for the perfect combination of water and pressure. Public consciousness has shifted from a state of dismissive curiosity to one of urgent concern as more communities witness the sudden and violent destruction of their once stable surroundings. The story of the Tennessee sinkholes is not merely a scientific study, but a testament to the enduring power of a landscape that refuses to be tamed by engineering. Every heavy summer rainstorm serves as a reminder that we are guests on a foundation that was carved out by natural forces over several millions of years of geological cycles. As we look toward the middle of the 21st century, the question of where the next disaster will occur has been replaced by an urgent investigation into how large the fragile relationship between human development and the deep limestone caverns remains one of the most pressing environmental issues currently facing the entire eastern United States today. Local authorities are investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into ground-penetrating radar systems that can scan the earth for hidden dangers before new schools or hospitals are built. Residents are no longer looking just at the beauty of the rolling hills, but are now studying the subtle dips in the soil that might signal a dangerous underground chamber. This ongoing geological saga reminds us that the Earth is a living entity that will always have the final word, regardless of how much data we collect or install. We invite you to join this important conversation by sharing your own experiences with changing landscapes in the comments below, because your perspective could help others understand these invisible threats. If you want to keep uncovering the mysteries of our changing world and the hidden forces that shape our future, then you should subscribe to this channel now. Your support allows us to continue digging deeper into the science of these disasters, so please like this video and share it with those who need to understand today.